I too would like to welcome all of you and the first timers to the Expanding Light. We're very glad that you came. You know, we have been offering the truths of Paramhansa Yogananda's teachings for over 50 years now. We're still very glad that you would come and share those teachings with us. It's all for you, really. So thank you for coming. I'd like to read from Paramhansa Yogananda's Whispers from Eternity. This is: with the torch of our devotion, blaze away our dark indifference. Divine Mother, let every slap of correction administered by thee ring from us, thy children, only cries for thy love. Change any moans of suffering we utter into unceasing wails to be lifted comfortingly onto thy cosmic lap. O Divine Mother, teach us, even when we are bludgeoned by pain, to sing only thy exulting songs of joy. Melt our pride in thy purifying furnace of all necessary trials, to transmute the lead of unseemly arrogance into the pure gold of humility. Divine Mother, clear out the brooding slum of our selfishness, wherein crouch, huddled in pain, the starving, ill-clad urchins of our ignorance. Build there instead the temple of omnipresence, wherein noble votaries of devotion, solemn reverence, and aspiring love can worship thee with pure hearts, dressed in the simple, clean garments of single-minded intention. In that golden temple, softly echoing thy whispered inner guidance, thy devotees will offer before thy altar the frankincense of unceasing remembrance as they sing to thee their soul chants. O Divine Mother, we lay eagerly at thy feet all the fresh-cut flowers of our devotion. Our humble prayer to thee is this: convert the little altar of our united hearts into the blazing light of thy omnipresence. Divine Mother, be thou the only love of our souls. Ignite our damp wood of earthliness with the flame of infinity. Let the torch of our own devotion blaze in the dark forest of our indifference, restlessness, and ignorance. Inflame our minds with thy thoughts, our hearts with thy love, our souls with thy eternal joy. And that reading started out a little scary, but it was redeemed. That's sort of the dilemma that we face, isn't it? We're living in a world, in an environment with intense darkness, intense confusion. We have within ourselves thoughts which are not uplifting, not inspiring, not joyful. And yet, through our own good karma, we come to a place where we are actually interested in becoming truth seekers. And all of you and everyone watching online has come to that point where there must be a way out of this thing. There must be a way out to a higher level, because in our hearts, in our souls, we remember it's not really like this. Inside, we have that spark of divinity. And we become truth seekers. Here we are. Yay! It's getting better already. I was actually thinking of not reading the first part of that prayer, but it wouldn't be reality, huh? Because it isn't all fun and games until we come closer to God. And this reading, Swamiji so clearly just outlined that truth is one and eternal, and the divine sends avatars and saints to the world to show us the way out. But there's many saints, there's many paths. They all have a single center, and that is the realization that we are the children of God, we are a part of God. But We need different saints and different avatars and different religions to remind us over and over again that we've separated ourselves from the light and the love of God. And so we're watching this terrible movie, wars and civil wars and wars against other countries and invasions, and just check your local newspaper or internet and there it all is. It's an everyday event. But Swami Kriyananda would point out that the saints are the true custodians of religion. That's the only place that we have, in essence, agreement. Now, I know that sometimes people not familiar with mystical teachings of religion, I'll tell them that Ananda's based on the unity of religions, and they give me the strangest look. The unity of religion, you can't have this and religion and that religion. No, I'm talking about the unity of religions is the point between the eyebrows and the deep spine. And that's, as this reading says, where we eventually have to go. Now, most of the people, well, all of the people at Ananda are disciples of the path of Paramhansa Yogananda, Kriya Yoga. But it's not the best religion. I could hear the little chuckles when Maria was reading that as the best religion. This is so modern that there's the best religion, and my religion's better than your religion, my God's better than your God. This isn't new, by the way. If you look in the Old Testament, Book of Kings, they had a contest to see who had a better religion. Was it the Jewish God Yahweh or Baal? Boo! Yay! So they had a contest. They started a big fire, and the real good God was going to make the fire burn, and of course he did. And because it's the Jewish book, it was Yahweh, you know. So I'm sure in the Baal book, Baal won in extra innings or something. But it's a constant small-mindedness of the ego. And the solution is the teachings of the great ones, Buddha, Moses, Krishna, Christ, Kuan Yin, all the masters, that the center is the light. The light comes in many forms, many colors. We all know this from physics, right? You break up light into all the colors of the rainbow. They're all from one light. Rays of the One Light is the name of the book. So how do we worship? What's the best way for us to worship? Well, even among the disciples of a singular path, Kriya Yoga in this case, or fill in the blank what path you're following, Buddhism, Sufism, Christianity, Judaism, advanced shaman, whatever, it doesn't matter in the outside. Eventually it comes down to Old Testament, be still, know that I am God. Yogananda, where motion ceases, God begins. So we have to come there, and Swamiji says this, we have to come to that place where the stillness is the stillness of spirit. And it is a place within us. And that's why we practice Kriya Yoga. That's why the Buddhists have wonderful meditation techniques. That's why there are mystic saints. You know, Yogananda, when he came to the United States, in one of his talks, he says, he was always talking about, people were talking about Jesus and the greatness of Jesus, which is great. I'm not saying it's not. But the master got really excited. He said, and Thomas Aquinas, he pronounced it Aquinas, but Thomas Aquinas said, there's a formless Christ. And the master was all excited because that resonated with the truth of all religions, the unity of all religions, is Christ has no form. God has no form. Krishna has no form. Divine Mother has no form, or she has every form. Either way you want to do it. But the reality is that God is formless, God is spirit. But we can touch that spirit within. So even among the Kriya Yoga disciples, there are different aspects of the yoga that we practice at different times in our lives. We always are talking about devotion and the need for chanting. Chanting's half the battle, yay, yay, yay. But one of the disciples here at Ananda Village went to Swami Kriyananda and told him, he was a very devout chanter. And Swami told him, don't chant so much. You're too emotional. Now, admittedly, in the 40 years I was with Swamiji, that was the only disciple he told not to chant so much. So don't get overexcited about that. But the point was that our individual practice is individual. Now, let's go back to Yogananda. He said, you could practice 1% of what I give you and find God. So we have a huge spread in front of us. And it is true that Master gave us affirmations, chanting, songs. Kriyananda gave us the songs of divine joy. He gave us the oratorio. We have the Gayatri mantra, Mahamritryunjaya mantra. We have mantras and prayers and the deities, and we celebrate Shivaratri and Janmashtami and Easter and Master's birthday and Sri Yukteswar's. You know, there's a lot of opportunities for worship. But what we each need to do is to find that way of worshiping that is helping us the most today. Now, I'm not saying don't practice Kriya Yoga regularly and faithfully as taught to you. I am saying that. It's important to follow what your guru has given us. And what it says in the poem Samadhi is deeper, longer, thirsty, guru-given meditation. If you're a Buddhist, it's still deeper, longer, thirsty, Buddha-given meditation. It's the same. And that's why Master used the word guru, given, not Kriya Yoga. Samadhi is a universal experience. We all come there. We call it different names. Even the different religions call it different names. The Christians say it's ecstasy. The yogis say it's samadhi. The Buddhists say it's nirvana. So the Zen masters call it satori. All different names, one experience. It's the dissolving of the separateness. So how do we do something with this? Well, we need to keep our worship dynamic. We need to keep it alive. If your sadhana is alive and your service is alive, good, go with it. Don't do anything different. But if you start to get a little winded, if you start to get a little uninspired, pick up another part of Master's 100% of his teachings. Maybe chant a mantra. We asked Swami Kriyananda, what's the best mantra, Swami? He said, well, all mantras are good, but if you Om Guru is a very good mantra. Okay, Om Guru, just chant Om Guru. Listen to the songs of Swami. Put them around your place of work, your place of going to work. Put them in your home. Fill your consciousness with uplifting, worshipful, inspiring vibrations. The problem that we're dealing with right now is social media and 8 million YouTube channels and all this stuff, and there's a small percentage of people chanting and praying and worshiping on there. You got to cut out all the negative stuff. You don't need it. It's the agents of Maya. It's this force of separation that's pushing us towards darkness, cynicism, materialism, all the divisions that don't exist. The whole world is my home and the human race my family. You could repeat that repeatedly and it would be fine. Chant the songs. Put yourself in a bubble of the vibration of the great masters. Put yourself, if you have a guru, if you're a disciple of Master, put yourself in Master's bubble. You know, at Ananda, we start every activity with a prayer. That's a good thing. You could start every activity with a prayer. I'm going to work. Let's say a prayer and drive my car, or take the train, or take the bullet train, or whatever, however you could take your helicopter to corporate offices, whatever you do. It doesn't matter what you do, it's an act of worship. Some of us are blessed in being able to chant at work all day because we don't need to engage our mind. But another way to worship God is to focus on the job at hand, single-pointedly, to feel that God has given me this ability, that God is working through me, and I'm going to help this day at work be a good day at work. If you're a lawyer, if you're an engineer, it doesn't matter. I'll tell you a little Rajasi story. So Rajasi is Master's enlightened disciple, and he's at a board of directors meeting. Master's left the body, so he's at a board of directors meeting and of the organization, and he's sitting there and he's got his eyes closed. So they're thinking he's in samadhi. So they're going on with the meeting, and the accountant is reading the report, the annual report. He's reading the numbers. Rajasi's sitting there. So sales were $153,241, and we had depreciation of $4. And in the middle of it, Rajasi said, "That number's wrong." And they were like, "Whoa." He was focused on the divine consciousness in the moment of the job at hand. And that's another way to do it. You know, when I'm at work, I sometimes have to be focused on what is the sequence. We had a water break a couple of weeks ago, and it was sort of like, well, what's happening? So the water's off. So especially Ramu and Dhananjay, were really focused on what exactly is the problem, the pressure and the flow and all these things. That's worship. To be focused on what is in front of you. Because God is the doer, we got that. We're serving God, we got that. But this is the divine consciousness. For the musicians, they have to be focused on the note, the key, the rhythm, the phrasing, all those things. That's what's in front of them. They can't be just, and be off key. That's not their job. It's not your job to not know what you're supposed to know, whatever it is. And it can be anything. It can be anything. The garbage should be taken out on Tuesday mornings when you're supposed to be there with the truck, because it makes the whole universe flow. And if it doesn't come, then you know what happens. So it's important for us to fill our lives with worship, deeper, longer, thirsty, Guru-given. So what you could do, this is just a suggestion, but at the end of the day, maybe tomorrow afternoon, well, today maybe, but maybe tomorrow, at the end of the day, take an inventory. How much time today was I worshiping God through communion with God? Maybe you can't be chanting all day, but how much time in the day was I aware that God is the doer and that this is service to God? Now, just yesterday we all cheated and we all did Rajasi Day together. So we had, 200 people? And everyone's just, love vibrations, cooperation. We're all doing things. There were team leaders to tell you what to do. Here's the tools, just do it. And so, but really, we want to create that every day. We want to go to work in the morning, meditate, obviously. Do your silent meditation. And again, this is individual. If you're a single mom with 3 kids, you probably don't get to meditate before the kids get to school. Maybe you meditate afterwards. But check your day. How much time today was I with God and Guru? And then the second question, how deeply? And then the third question is, how can I do it better tomorrow? How can I make it longer, deeper, Guru-given meditation? And it takes practice. But it becomes habitual. It becomes if you are not feeling Krishna right next to you, you're like, hey, wait a minute, what's wrong? What did I do wrong? Make it a habit to be with God, be with the Divine Mother. And whatever form is really opening the heart center and keeping you aware. That's what Kriyananda would do. He would encourage us to be thinking of God. When asked about the community, Swamiji said, I'm not really interested in communities. I'm interested in places where people can find God. That's the backdrop that's important, is think about God and love God and realize how much God loves you. That God is trying as hard as she can to get you to wake up and realize how much she loves you. But if you don't worship God, if you don't think about God, if you spend all your time thinking about the conflict in this country, that country, and this policy and that policy and this, all this stuff, and it's always there. It was there with Jesus. He got convicted. He was crucified. Gandhi was assassinated. The world doesn't respect the love of God. But the love of God is beyond the troubles of this world. We need to habituate our consciousness to the divine. And maybe you should chant more. Maybe you should sing more. Maybe you should listen to the joy singers more. Maybe you should sing many hands at your office tomorrow morning. If you don't work for Ananda, I'll make it you fired. But that's okay, because that'll be God working through them. But make it a habit. And as is said, the spiritual path is difficult at first and then effortlessly liberating. It's difficult when you're new on the path to put God in the foremost position after meditation. But as you go along, you realize that God is with you. Swami Kriyananda would always quote the Cure Dar, if you realized how much God loves you, you would die for joy. Put that thought in your mind. And in fact, why not repeat that to yourself through the day, at the office, wherever you are, is to realize this is an opportunity. And that's the first part of this reading, is that when stuff happens to us, it's the Divine Mother helping us, somehow letting us go. And we all have the world situation, and we all have our personal situations. We have physical illness, we have medical emergencies, we have emotional crises, we have kids, divorces, partnerships, stuff all the time. It doesn't mean that God isn't in it. And it becomes habitual. That was the great blessing of living with Kriyananda, is everything that happened to us. He said, this is from Master. It's our reaction. Sister Kyanamata, the things that happen to us do not matter. What matters is what we become through them. That's a high teaching, because she was a high soul, but it is true and it is worth it. So sing to God and chant to God and meditate deeply, because it's only in the stillness that the reality of the worship becomes real to us. It is good. You know, when Master taught us to chant, he said, chant loudly at first to get into it, but then chant more softly. Take it inside. Take the vibration of the chants inside. O thou King of the Infinite. Well, of course, that one starts deep, so that's not a good example. But it's the reality of chanting out loud, but then taking it inside. The kingdom of God is within you. Your heart is in the heart of God, always. It becomes habitual, it becomes easier. Have a great week. God bless you.
Many hands make a miracle. Let's all join hands together. Life on earth is so wonderful when people laugh and dance and struggle as friends, and all their dreams achieve their ends. Many hands make a miracle. We
your flute high on a cloud. Your call I can't resist. Oh, let me come and play with you. We'll scatter music with the dew and sound the morning mist. I've heard you piping on a hill, all else I've set aside. Oh, let us dance the mountain peaks. We'll skip with breezes on the creeks and soar the valleys wide. Your flute has called me to the fields. Now I've no place to live. Don't send me back, rejected friend. Whatever I call mine must end. All that I am, I give. I hear your flute in every tree, in every flower and stream, and sweetest melody of all, a song that heaven's joy recalls. Here in my heart you sing.